Hi, it's Joy, and today I'm going to be watching The Wheel of Time, Season 2, Episode 5, Damane? I don't know. I am so ready for another episode. I have my usual, like, super excitement that is also super terrified because I'm gonna be stressed, but I adore this show, I adore these characters. A reminder that, as always, you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon, and let's go! Oh, good. Oh, good. Royale!
Commander of the Hellene.
Lady Suroth will speak for herself before the High Lord.
Ooh.
As the High Lord commands.
So it's a sign of privilege and rank that you don't speak for yourself?
You invaded a village without permission. By what right do you claim to make decisions over your Lord Commander?
Ooh. Right, so it wasn't sanctioned by, like, the higher-up people, but it was by her because she's a dark
Perhaps
French.
my lord made a mistake.
Uniting all the people of the world under our Empress to fight the Shadow. A mission you have carelessly jeopardized.
She's working with the Shadow, sir. One of his trusted lieutenants is right there.
Kneel.
Oof. See who she takes orders from. It's not you. Is that her actual nail? This bitch.
The whole world will be ours.
Less than ideal, but probably still a step up from the Dark One taking over. Not a huge step up if they have slaves, but you know, like a tiny step up.
Why are we running? You killed her!
That wound will barely slow her down. Hurry!
This is why chopping her into tiny pieces. I mean, I guess she'd have woken up while you were dissecting her, but you could have chopped her head off first. The logistics of it intrigue me. You are a bitch, yes. I don't know if she actually said bitch or not. I do love that he did instantly trust Moiraine. Like, yes, knowing Rand and knowing reality, he will have more questions for her. But, you know, she appeared, stabbed someone that he thinks he loves, and then was like, run. And he did run. Like,
I don't understand.
he's gonna have questions, but...
If we survive tonight, I'll explain everything.
And if they are not settled in 2 minutes, I swear you will regret this night for however much longer your life lasts.
See, that sounds like Moiraine's threatening her, but really it's a Forsaken coming.
Cannot give her a way to follow us.
Yeah, it's brutal, but it's the way she kind of just strolled in. Didn't look all out of breath and running. Oh lord, sir, ride fast.
What happened to your horse?
Fuck.
Anything slower than a horse?
You? Clearly, because if you didn't take the horse, you would have been. If you were faster than the horse, you wouldn't have taken it. Stop being so judgmental, Lanfear. Also, I'm really scared of you, so my insults mean nothing.
Can't see cliffs ahead at night. Useless. Like everything else we're born with.
Perrin doesn't currently, at least,
sometimes.
want to fully give up everything else and the ones he loved.
Not much fun drinking alone.
I am glad he's exploring this part of himself finally, though.
We're not following the caravan. We're going the opposite way. You lied to me.
Better than
Perrin,
being
sweetie,
dead.
yes.
Or
I did
slave.
think he
Like
was
my
leading you
friends.
They're
away.
not your pack. Neither are the humans from the Two Rivers.
They are his pack. His pack can expand.
Neither was your wife.
Oof.
I'm going to find my friends.
Bless you.
I don't care, guys.
You can't run from what you are, boy.
But what he is more than one thing. He isn't just a wolf brother. He's also Perrin of the Two Rivers who has people he cares for. They're hiding, so she's gone past. Smart, but if she realises the tracks or something have stopped, very unsmart.
You did not defeat the Dark One at the Eye of the World.
No.
You set his strongest lieutenant free. Ishamael. If he releases them all, well, then we have no hope of winning the last battle.
No choice but to keep walking, sweetheart. She wasn't who you thought she was. And I'm very sorry for you. I really hoped Hopper was going to go with him. Hopper chose his pack too, right? Hopper is pack.
Would you wait for me here?
It's funny, when this season started, I was reading the Farseer trilogy by Robin Hobb for the first time. And not spoilers for anything that happens in it, but there is a concept in that of the wit, which is people who are able to like read the minds of animals or like bond with animals, and the main character bonds with a wolf. And I just was like my brain is like seeing the similarities and differences between like Perrin and Hopper and Fitz and Night Eyes. You're a good friend, Hopper. It's gonna be noisy. Be prepared.
That'll be loud, Bystander.
Last man who touched her cage had his arm broken and practically ripped off.
Who are you?
Can't trust an Aiel. Closest excuse for an inn this town has to offer.
Who are you and what are you doing here? Are you people that came to like help? But then why didn't you take down the body of the victim?
She wandered into the wrong town at the wrong time. Don't try to help her, Two Rivers. She's past that now. You understand me?
Was it literally just because she's an Aiel and they were scared of strangers? Oh, fuck.
Make up a room for our new friend.
Yes, of course, Chal Bonhold.
Thank you.
I was worried. I didn't think of that, but I knew there was something about him to be concerned with. Now, if these are just...
I hope you find your way back home, Two Rivers.
And the fact that he recognised it as True River's work suggests that he was travelled.
What happened to the previous one? Was to be given nothing, Chal Bonhold.
I knew that that wasn't a killing blow. I mean, I'm glad Egwene didn't stab someone to death, but...
You think it's a coincidence that we find Aiel this far west of the Spine? At the same time these strangers invade from the sea?
Yes.
The more questions...
Don't worry, Valda. No wolves here.
Heavy is the suckling child. The day will come when your father's name...
Oh, so he's saying something about his father's name, which I guess he's like a nepotism baby within the Order. But this dude doesn't seem to like Valda. I couldn't remember his name. I was like, Child Valda. He doesn't seem like this dude here, the new dude, doesn't seem to like Valda. Maybe we can like work with him.
Name will not save you.
I don't know the significance of your father's name. My only guess is he's the old dude that we saw in the last season, but yeah, this is not looking good for you, sweetie.
Where are they?
They told me to race the horses to the tower as fast as I could. Even that's not good for them. Young man, seemed to be half in a daze. Only following them.
Of course he was. He's still so young.
Yes, you manipulated, grooming bitch. Was it a previous dragon she was in love with in another life?
She's more ruthless than I imagined, using you as bait.
I mean,
And I'll have them.
it is Moiraine did use her as bait, but I also feel like she told her to get to the tower as fast as possible, so that there was a chance she would make it to the tower before she was, you know.
Very good, my lady.
Oh god. She's just sadistic.
Back then!
Okay,
How long?
if this is where the brown cloaks hang out,
Without an ulterior
brown cloaks, the brown, I'm here for it.
Naomi.
And the company of my sisters of the Brown Argent.
My goodness.
Brown Argent for me, all the way.
Here we have some new and very powerful novices.
Oh lord. Where are we? Oh, the ways! Oh, lovely.
You weren't recruiting me for the Red Argent, were you?
I do not think so, no.
You were recruiting me for him. Was your price worth all this?
What was your price?
My desires are my own.
But I'm paying the price.
Yes. It's what you get.
I forget myself, my lord.
People swear, like, join the Dark One for such a range of reasons.
Time and God.
He can't leave someone unjustly.
Why do you help me?
Because you needed help? Seemed to have
People
not...
shouldn't be in cages.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Avienda, of the Nine Valleys Sept of the Ta'adat Aiel.
Okay. Avienda. Avienda.
Father,
Oh, Lord. Well, she can still fight, I'm sure, even in this condition.
I told you not to help her. One at a time and she'll have you.
Yep. So... what was her crime? Being an Aiel? Bless you, Perrin. You must have heard stories of the Aiel. She likes to dance. She's quite good at it. I mean, White Cloaks, you caused this fight. Oof, yeah.
He gave you water. He helped us. Remember? What are you? Let him go.
Someone with more mercy than you. Not you. You have a reason to be angry. I meant more mercy than the White Cloak.
The rest will come down on us.
Lanfear was famous for two things among the Forsaken.
Oh, God.
Her casual cruelty and her mastery of Teller and Riod.
Tell him right.
The world of dreams. She can hurt you just as easily there as here.
So that was a dream, but it was real.
She will have you.
And you've brought a friend.
Lorraine.
Little brought you
I
there.
could hardly believe
Well, that is
when-
him, right? Yeah.
Well, they said you were
Oh, the
his.
actor.
It's a happy match, I hope.
The name Darmadred is held in high esteem. That is happiness enough.
Yes, that is what marriages should be.
Nor are they in their class, nor in their rooms. And
She
also
hasn't
the
noticed they're
daughter
missing.
of Andor is nowhere to be found.
Is she hiding that fact, or does she genuinely not
Is
know?
it possible? The daughter heir? It's worth taking a look, don't you think? Oh.
How else will we get to air without the door to it?
I don't know how it slipped my mind, frankly. It's quite
Did Leandrin
unusual.
sneak it in, or is she working with
But it is.
Leandrin?
If a weave of compulsion was being used?
Compulsion? That would break the three oaths.
Yes.
It would mean that someone in the tower has sworn to the dark that
Yes. Her name is
Aisha
Leandrin.
really exists.
Blackheart. Oh, good. Why are you doing this, Leandrin?
Our master's needs will change. I'll remind you of it on the day you kneel to me.
Oh, Leandrin.
If you last that long.
Yes. Okay. So she, like... she freed Nynaeve?
bring them to me.
For intent... like, obviously it was intentional, but...
Do something.
but I actually... currently... she freed them all. Unshielded them, at least. That's my girl. Oh.
Wait.
Egwene?
Where's Egwene?
Fuck.
I'm searching for the Karakarn. Our chief of chiefs.
Okay.
So where are you going?
I would like to learn more about Aiel from her, and I kind of like her so
Don't
far.
worry, Parent of Two Rivers.
Searching for the Chief of Chiefs. My brain is like, is that gonna be Rand too? Because like, if his mother, there was the battle and everything, like, she sort of vanished and the baby vanished, is that like a thing? Like, if you're looking for where the baby ended up, then how the hell would you actually expect to find that baby?
Come on, we've got to find a...
Don't draw any attention to us. They're gonna be looking for us. Let's change our clothes.
Our clothes? Not fancy enough for you.
Those soldiers at the Waygate were looking for us. They would still be looking for us. Here, follow me.
I'm not taking orders from you, Princess. I don't even know you.
Oh great. Who are you?
It's a delicacy from the village. You can only procure them there and only at this time of year.
Yes. Good alibi.
Novices shouldn't be allowed to...
Oh,
they've gone to a name.
So convincing.
Came
Hurry.
Oh, I hate her so much. You see right through her, right? Remember how urgency was a thing? I'm sorry. I know you're very tired and...
Yet now I'm looking at you, and I don't think you have any idea what you want to do next.
Oh, she had a map for so long and the map led to the wrong place.
Is it true? Can you know beyond any doubt that it's true?
I mean, yes, in this case.
Can you know beyond any doubt that Rand needs your protection?
I mean, I suppose he could protect himself.
Excellent advice, wasn't it? I've used it often in the last 40 years.
That's nice. We need to get moving, people. Remember the woman that's chasing us? If we can't sleep, like... Is he just seriously sleeping? I'm guessing he's just fallen asleep. Well, gross, wherever he was. I'm like, there's a lot of consent issues in my mind with everything that's happened around so far this season. Okay.
Because, alone of all the chosen, I actually believe in the dark. I believe the only way to stop all this suffering is to stop the wheel itself.
By causing a whole lot more suffering.
How does the current dragon measure up to his predecessor?
Rand
You're creepy.
softer.
What do you think Rand will do when he sees his friends all lost?
He will break.
Or he'll go help them?
It was you, was it not, who first saw the omens that led us to begin to return to our ancient...
I'm sure he saw the omens. Please say that they are, I mean, someone that wants to help them and knocking them out was the best way to get them to go with him, right?
Elaine.
Reimer, of the Yellow Aja.
Oh, he's a warder.
And do you have any idea what these Shonchan do to women who can channel?
We have a Gwaine. We need to get a Gwaine. At least these guys aren't, like, initially when Perrin was saying he was going to Farn, I thought that they'd travelled across the water back to their, like, empire to present people, so at least we're still on, like, the right continent.
I have brought you a gift, my lord.
I'm not even a gift, my lord. This is just terrible. You're all going to regret this.
What does she want?
I don't know.
To win him over?
If you'd asked me a few days ago, I would have said she wanted me to be with me.
He's honest.
Stories from before the breaking are vague. Agrees that she loved the Dragon Reborn. And that he loved her before he met his wife.
Oof.
But she was a dark friend.
Only after he broke her heart. She swore her oaths to the dark to try to get him back.
Can we win Lanfear back to our side?
And what? You want to make her think she has?
This could be our only chance to find out what he wants.
She'll see right through it.
Maybe she might.
I don't know.
It's messy for
Whatever she
him
is, I
too.
don't think everything between us was a lie.
It's emotionally messy. It's a choice.
I mean that this time.
Sweet dreams. Well, I'm glad this is happening in a dream and not reality, because this was in the trailer and I was freaking stressed by it. You think you're so clever. I just love this show so much, and it is the weirdest feeling of being at home and being in the most stress I've ever been in. It is, you know, it's because I love it so much that I get so stressed. It's fine, everything's fine, everything's fine, everything's fine. Nothing is fine. On the scale of 1 to 10, 0 is fine. That doesn't make any sense. I'm so sorry. Okay. So right now, the person I'm most concerned about and for is Egwene. She is just like been enslaved. We know they do horrific things to their powered women with the one power. Do they call them Damane? Is that the word they were saying? Because that's what the title of the episode was. But I don't even want to think about what they do to subdue these powerful women in making them do their slaves willingly when they have so much potential for power within them. And Egwene, hopefully, is not going to be in their clutches for too long, because there's enough people in the area that are pro Egwene. There's an Aes Sedai and a Warder. There's Nynaeve and Elaine. There's, I mean, admittedly, Loyal and the dude are also enslaved, but like they are there. Perrin's coming. He's got an Aiel and a wolf. You know, hopefully we can help her before it gets too dire, but I'm scared for her regardless. And even though, like, I know that there is a hopefully decent number of people that could potentially come to her aid, she doesn't know that. All she knows is that thank God Nynaeve and Elaine got away, but what are they supposed to do against all of this? They don't really know what's going on or anything else. So she must be feeling terrified beyond anything, furious beyond anything, on the level of betrayal towards Leandrin, because I think no matter how much you maybe didn't like her or distrusted her, and we know Egwene in particular didn't like or trust her, Nynaeve was beginning to, they at least kind of respected her for being an Aes Sedai, that whatever she was doing it for the right reasons, she was doing it for good as far as she was concerned. And of course, to realise that she is a black Aja, that she is a dark friend, that she is one of them. She's really the most obvious candidate to be it, and yet she still disappointed me. So I'm very, very concerned for Egwene right now. I just want to give her a hug and get her away from there, okay? Like, she just needs to stop being captured by bad people. Can that please just, can we save Egwene? Hashtag save Egwene. I'm stressed. I would have liked a moment of like, because Loyal still stood there, so I would have liked a teeny moment of recognition between him and Egwene. I know they didn't have a huge amount of time together, but they did have enough that they will recognise each other. Obviously, I guess he was all like, I've got to stay, but you know, he would have been looking, but she was obviously a little bit terrified and like focused on like the evil people all around her. I'm just stressed. I absolutely adored the way the girls fought for their lives and ran. Obviously, Egwene fell, but that was because she was in the back making sure the others got out okay. Nynaeve will definitely be blaming herself because she even had her hands free and she wasn't able to summon the one power, which definitely tells you that the block is deep. Because she's been able to use it from time to time, but even like in life and death situations, but she will blame herself. She will think, if I had just been able to do another huge blast like I've done in the past, Egwene would be with us and she would be okay, instead of being suffering whatever she is currently suffering. But Elaine and Egwene, with their rhyming names, were very useful, very good at fighting, and I think Nynaeve's gonna get there. I'm just stressed. I am so relieved that they found someone. When the guy knocked them out, I was like, okay, he's got to be a good guy who was like, it's easier than like convincing these two terrified people who are very powerful to just come with me. If I just knock them out, shove them over my shoulder, shove them away, that gets them where they need to be. I believe this woman to be an Aes Sedai and a warder. Admittedly, she could just be a random lady who grabbed a ring off someone and is pretending, but I feel like she has no reason to pretend. If she wanted to present them for reward or bounty or anything, she would have done that by now. So, you know, as much as I distrust everybody, I feel like I'm going to trust these people. And it's interesting. I wonder... So that's obviously... Are they the Aes Sedai that were sent to investigate the ships? Or are they Aes Sedai that were like... They have to be the Aes Sedai that were sent to or at least she's one of them, that was sent to investigate the ships, doesn't she? Because initially I was thinking she was like based there. And maybe she was as an Aes Sedai based in Farn, but people probably would have turned her over by now, I fear. So she's got to be one of the people that was sent to investigate, and she's run into some novices that were running around. I hope she'll send word back to the White Tower. Now, Liandrin is playing it as, yes, she was going for her brother's name day ceremony. They went with her. Oh dear, some mysterious bad people captured them. Oopsie. You know, Liandrin has got a cover story through and through, which at least she's not trying to say they ran away. I wonder, would she have gone with run away if Elaine hadn't been involved? Because obviously Elaine was the complication. Elaine also... It's interesting because Elaine is a complication in the sense that, like, they can't get to air without her. I'm so sorry. Ever since I thought they were saying door to air, I just picture her as being the only person that can create a doorway to the kingdom of air. But no, like, she is obviously a politically significant person, but then between the three of them, they are three of the most powerful young Aes Sedai that there have ever been. So there's kind of such a need to find them again. Are they hoping to prompt some sort of war between the tower and... I don't know. I just don't know. What do they get out of potentially enslaving the three? Or technically, bless Elaine, she was just an extra person along for the ride. What does the Dark One get from putting Nynaeve and Egwene through this? Is it simply neutralizing them? Is it taking them off the board? So that if they are no longer pieces in the game, if they cannot be focal points used for good, and because they seemingly will not be corrupted to the dark, I guess it's either removing them from the board or making them so desperate that they turn to the darkness. I guess that's probably what they're hoping for, because people turn to the dark for all sorts of different reasons. Like, I think even the barmaid in the first season, I don't think she was evil. I don't think she wanted to hurt people necessarily, but I think she just wanted out of this miserable life and she wanted better for herself, which, you know, isn't the most selfless motive, but it's not an evil motive. We haven't fully drilled down into what Liandrin's motive is yet, if it's to do with her son and lengthening his life, to do with, I don't know what her motive will be, but, and I hope we do find out at some point, even if it's like in a future season, that's fine. I just hope at some point I find out what her motive was. And then Lanfear, it seems to be that her heart was broken, and then the Dark One was like, hey, yo, wanna get your man back? And she was like, yeah, okay, I'll sway to the darkness. Which, I'm sorry, like, if someone breaks your heart, even if they break your heart really bad, you don't need to turn to the darkness. I suppose if he found her at her absolute weakest moment, like the worst hurt, but even so, that does say something about who you are super deep down, if it's that. But it explains her creepiness. She's just creepy. But it's sort of, we've already got like an array of different people, different reasons to go to the dark. Does explain her obsession with Lan, bless it. Ran and Land, okay, they're very similar names. My brain fog is going to get confused. Does explain her kind of obsession with Rand, and her going on about this love that she lost, and how he could help her remember, because he literally is the same person, sort of. Though it's weird, because obviously, like, he's the same person, but he's different. And I do wonder, like, when the soul is repeated, how much of it is the same as it once was? How much of it is shaped by the life experiences they have? How much of it is just different each time? Like, would you necessarily want to fall in love with the person the next time around if you were the same and they were different? I don't know. Personally, he is young and she is like 300 million years old. So, you know, she's thousands of years old. Like, again, I'm just saying stay away from Rand. Okay. Speaking of Rand, he, like, in the trailer, there was that shot of him on the wheel, and I was like, very, you know, stuck to the wheel, etc. Definitely trying to encourage his desire to break free from his destiny and break the wheel, I presume. But at least that's not something that's happening to him in the waking world. It doesn't mean it's not going to be real, but it does mean he's not awake having it happen to him. Which gives me some hope that maybe Matt will stab him in another dream. I don't know if everything keeps happening in dreams. I don't know. I mean, these are kind of real dreams, and we've learned that Lanfear is a master of dreams, which does explain that the dream that Lan had in a previous episode, Rand. It's because their names both have AN and have the same kind of sound in them. My brain fog is like, they're the same, they're not the same. That Rand had in a previous episode was real, even though it wasn't real. Their desperate dash, Moiraine and Rand. I love the fact that he just trusted Moiraine. You know, this woman, he has just told her, like, he loves her, essentially. And yeah, she was starting to say, I'm a monster too, and starting to look a bit creepy, but then suddenly she gets murdered in front of you. It would be very, like, and obviously his initial response was to be like, you just killed her, oh my god. But he immediately, when Moiraine started saying, no, that's a Forsaken, you've got to come with me, he trusted her. And I think that shows you that the trust is there, the bond from the last season is there, and he's still going to ask her 1,001 questions. He is not going to accept not knowing what's going on anymore. And I like that this time around she's going to tell him, she's going to give him a choice. She's really kind of letting him in a little bit more because she knows the stakes now this time. But it was important that she gave him a choice, and it was important to me that ultimately he just trusted her and he just followed her lead because he still trusts that she knows what she's doing most of the time. Going back to her sister's house, I do worry that like the sister keeps going on about how like the House of Damodred, I think that's how you say it, has risen again, it's shining, it's wonderful. I do kind of worry that Moiraine is going to watch her little sister and her nephew die. That does concern me because we're spending a lot of time with them and now we're staying there. Like, that concerns me. I'm guessing Moiraine is gonna kind of think, well, we're here. She's coming after us regardless. We're gonna need to sleep eventually. Get information from her. Maybe there'll be some protection simply by being in a city. I don't know. But I think it was important that Moiraine took a moment to think. Because ever since, like, she's just been kind of blindly, oh, prophecy, right, I think Land's there, I think he's in trouble. Rand's there and I think he's in trouble. Go get him. Finds him, he's with Lanfear, like, takes her out. Like, she was just on autopilot of just, I don't know what to do. We have to run. I can't fight. I can't protect him, but we have to run. We just have to run. And taking a moment to stop and think and use that brilliant brain of hers was very important. So I'm glad her sister counseled her on that one. And the idea of facing her in the dream is interesting. I mean, eventually, realistically, they're gonna have to sleep. I don't think Rand is in a position to imprison her again. If he is, they need to tell him how. We clearly don't know how it was done before because we accidentally undid a Forsaken binding in the past. But I like the idea of confronting her. Because as much as I don't like her, and I do think she was grooming Rand, and I do think that like it was very weird and very creepy, and I'm team #stay away from Rand, please, Lanfear. I do think she genuinely does have feelings for him. I think she, I mean, and for one thing, Rand is just so goddamn sweet. How could you spend time with him and not be like, I care for this child? I mean, admittedly, Lanfear didn't think I care for this child. Lanfear thought some other feelings, but you know, like, how could you basically spend time with him and not come to think like, wow, that's a good guy. I like him. Then there is the added thing of this is a man that she loves and that she joined the dark side to win over. So if it becomes clear that Rand will never join the dark side, then has she really got, like, was joining the dark side worth it if she's not going to get the one thing she, like, I don't know, is there a chance we can break her away? I mean, admittedly, we would be using her because I still want her #away from Rand, but I also want her #away from everyone. She's so creepy. But, like, I don't know. Like, is there some way that maybe we could use her? I think Moiraine's currently thinking just use her for information, try and see what she wants from him. Because I think if Moiraine had walked in a minute later, I don't think she was about to kill Rand, because if she was going to kill Rand, she would have done it any time since she met him. But she maybe was going to reveal some of the plan to him, so I don't know if that's part of it. The thing that almost, I mean, I don't think Rand is going to just be in love with a Forsaken, but I do think it's going to be emotionally mixed up for him because he's already in an emotionally vulnerable place, which is the worst time to be in this kind of situation. And then he was beginning to form real feelings for her that probably were heightened by their past connection through their lives. And he isn't 100%, as much as like I've just been talking about how much I love that he does just instinctively trust Moiraine, there is always that flicker of doubt in his mind, and does she really know what she's doing? Is she doing the right thing? Like, of course that's there, because that is human. And especially when you've now learned that the quest she took you on in the last season literally unleashed a Forsaken, like, of course you're going to be wondering if she got the right idea. So I think it's going to make him a little bit more mixed up. But I do also think that ultimately Rand is not going to just casually join the dark side because he fancies a woman. So I'm not worried about that, but I do think it's going to mix him up a little bit more potentially. Hopefully it will leave him feeling even more certain that she's an evil Forsaken, but I'm scared. We will see. But really, what are we going to do with Lanfear? Because unless we manage to just immediately get her on our side for forever, how are we ever going to sleep again? So, Perrin, I'm glad he left Wolf Brother Man, okay? I think there is a way that Perrin can be Wolf Brother and Man Brother. Like, Perrin has attachments and he has people that he cares about and people that he loves. He isn't going to be able, like, unless he is told, similar to Rand, you're going to kill them all, he's not going to walk away from them. And I adore that he and Hopper made a true pack bond, so Hopper came with him. That is everything. And for them to obviously go back to the city because he wants to bury his friend. If anything shows you that the White Cloaks are despicable, it's the fact that they freed this town from the occupiers and then didn't bother burying the body of the person that the occupiers killed. They just left that up there. Like, okay, the blonde dude, Bornhold or something, he was interesting because he, like I said, I was hopeful he was gonna be like, I'm not like Charles Valder, but obviously he's still a White Cloak with a lot of propaganda in his head. It did seem to me that Ianelda, I can't remember her name, I tried to remember it, but remembering names, you know me, the Aiel, that she, if he had said, even like she was stealing food, I would have been like, okay, it's a little like, locking her in a cage is a bit much, but at least you're claiming she's done a crime. But they were just like, oh, she's an Aiel, she came to town, we locked her up. Like, obviously we know from other experiences that there is a lot of distrust around Aiels, but it was very interesting that he didn't even try to say, well, yeah, she did kill someone, admittedly, like that person. Like, it was basically just, oh, she walked into town, we'd just been invaded, so we locked her up. But there was definite tension between Valda and Blondie. I'm wondering if he's going to be the old dude's son, like the commander who was like off with the questioners and like briefly when we met in the woods, his son or something, but he's obviously somebody's son. And there is a definite line between the like soldiery White Cloaks and the questioners. Are they questioning to see like what happened here? Are they questioning, like, why are they still here and still questioning if they got rid of all of the bad guys? What are they doing here? I mean, they will probably be chased to a degree, followed. I suppose you wouldn't think they were going towards the bad guys. I need Perrin and his Hopper to figure out where the Egwene's in trouble and I'll meet up with Nynaeve and everyone. It would be quite nice if Moiraine and Rand could learn where they were and if everyone could all end up together, but, you know, I'm stressed in general about everyone's safety. What I'm very intrigued about is, I mean, obviously, the only other Aiel person I know is Rand. His mother, you know, she was pretty awesome. There was a battle. The place he's in now, I was like fighting the battle, right? But like there was a battle and she was fleeing. She was heavily pregnant. She could have been like the leader or something or other. And could that make like, is Rand technically the next in line to be their leader? And so they're like, somewhere out there, they're the person who would be our leader. Or there could also just be some other Aiel that's wandering around. It could even be the dude that was in the horrible mining village, locked up, killed. Like, he did have a shiny thing actually, so maybe it is him. Those are the only Aiels I've come across. So I'm very intrigued about what she's up to, and maybe if she were to see Rand and he were to say, oh, well, yeah, there was a battle at Dragonmount and my mum died, because I think, did Min tell him that much? I think Min at least told him that she saw him being born on the slopes of Dragonmount, right? Maybe she could piece together who his family is. Seemed like nice for him to know. I don't know. But she seems great. I'm enjoying learning more about Aiel culture and kind of seeing an actual Aiel, because we've only had people saying to Rand, oh, your hair's red, you're an Aiel, and him being like, I do not believe that is true, sir. And then we saw a dead Aiel. So seeing kind of a live one, just talking and being and learning a bit more about their culture and everything is fascinating. And then I trust her. Apparently she may end up being a dark friend because everyone and their bloody mother is a dark friend, but I'm trusting her for now. And I think it'll be good for Perrin to be able to smile again a little bit. Stressed. I'm guessing a lot of the other villagers, the young women, so they took, obviously we saw them taking young women from the town, and then like we didn't see any signs of the other soldiers, Citric and other dudes. Obviously they took one of them with Loyal to present. I don't know where the other ones are, if they were also taken as like trophy slaves. I'm sure we will find more about them going forwards at some point. Nynaeve and Elaine, they're doing, given their circumstances, they're doing alright, I think. Like, yeah, they're not doing great, but they're doing alright. I do think the brown Aja lady that's friends with Moiraine I do think she is suspicious of Leandrin, because it was all too convenient that Leandrin would pop back really promptly from where she'd been with a bag full of stuff that just so happens to prove her alibi perfectly. And the minute she hears that the girls are missing, go, oh, I did hear a royal convoy was attacked. Oh dear. Like, it's just a little bit too convenient. And obviously in a tower where you are so very used to nobody around you lying because they have sworn not to, these oaths that they cannot break. Yeah, but I think that was a look of, that's suspicious. My concern is that Leandrin would have clocked that she was being suspected, and that may not be good for our friendly brown Aja lady. Katie Leung being in this, great, she seemed great. I'm like, I will admit that, you know, and when I heard what the different Ajas were, I was in one of the like animated-y shorts they had for each episode. I was disappointed that the one that I felt would be mine, which is the brown Aja, was brown, because I've never liked the colour brown. It's quite boring. But, you know, seeing their cozy little library room where they just talk about books and, like, get comfy, I am here for that. I studied history. Like, I am here for that. So I am more than ever a brown Aja at this point. And I also like that we've kind of met some, because it's often in shows and books, it's very easy to paint the, like, bookish people, the scholarly people, as just dull. They're just boring, and I'm sure that those stereotypes exist, but the ones we have met have been not that. They're just fun characters. They are inquisitive, they want to do the right thing, and I'm sure there'll also be bookish, boorish ones. There'll be ones that only care about themselves because, but you know, like I like the fact that the bookishy people are not just boring. We didn't see Matt. I'm still stressed about where he's off to. Actually, no, he's going to the city that Rand is at, right? Let's hope stabbing doesn't come true. Unless it's a good stabbing. I really hope it's a good, like, Rand is just asleep and he will not wake up. And yeah, he's standing asleep, but he's asleep. And so a little stab in a non-fatal spot wakes him up. Nice quick, right? But hopefully Matt and Rand will get reunited. You will see. Didn't see Lan this episode either. I'm stressed. I'm very stressed, but I am so enjoying this show. And if I've missed a vital thing to talk about, I'm so sorry, because like my brain is thinking I might have done, but I can't think what it would be. But I feel like this episode kind of left you with a lot of ways. Not more questions necessarily, but a lot of the characters just, they went from point A to point B in the story, ready for next episode for us to suffer through point B. And I'm stressed about point B. Fantastic. I adore this show. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon, and thank you so much for watching.